Good evening, everybody. I hope you all have had a wonderful couple of days. Today's video, as you probably can tell from the title, is what your person thinks about you. So preferably this is going to be a crush or a relationship type person. And yeah, it'll just be how they're feeling about you. I've got 3 different piles here. Let me put the crystals on. There we go. We've got 3 different piles to choose from. We've got the new camera set up, which I did notice in the last video, it looked very sharp, if you will. So I'm turned down some settings. Hopefully this video is looking good. We'll see. But at least it's better than the original camera, I think, at least. I'm a little bit tired today. My energy isn't quite as upbeat as usual. I've been working technically 3 jobs. It's just 1 job, but I'm working for 3 different companies at that job, so I'm very drained lately. It's very tiring. But, I'll try and stay upbeat for you guys. Hopefully this should be a slightly longer video. Fingers crossed. And yeah, we can jump right into it. So we've got pile 1 here, pile 2, and pile 3. And we'll get started with pile 1. I'll just move these over to the side. Got my drink here. I am not used to such a wide angle camera. I feel quite exposed and it's very awful on my arms. My arms look so much longer than they really are. But that's alright. Anyway, I'll get into pile 1. So your crystal is Tiger's Eye. Set it down up here. So you pulled from a couple different decks, 4 decks I believe. 2 Oracle, Lenormand decks, and 1 Tarot deck. So we've got the Angel Answers in the near future. You've got the Mice and the Child from the Fairy Lenormand deck. We've got the King of Swords and the King of Cups. Interesting. A lot of court cards. Let's just try to even this out a little bit. Okay, so I might check the definition on mice, but I do believe this energy right here is very naive and childish. The mice typically represents gossip, I believe, or selfishness, and the child can represent, like naivety and being childish. You just want to check that, though I don't use Lenormand very often, so I'm still getting acquainted with the cards. Okay, so I was a little bit wrong. The mice represents loss, theft, and small bites, and the child is innocence and immaturity. So, let's see, in the near future, King of Swords. The King of Swords is very defensive. King of Cups, again, he looks very solitary on this lone island of his. I kind of feel like either you or the person you're asking about feels hurt by something that happened in this connection. It could be somebody from your past, somebody who, you've broken up with or they've broken up with you, and one of you is feeling very hurt by this. But it's almost like a misguided hurt, It's like you're misunderstanding the situation and they're misunderstanding the situation. And I don't think the other person knows that. So if they think that you did something wrong, you don't even realize that's what they're thinking because you didn't do whatever it was. Likewise, if you're feeling like they did something wrong, they might have not realized that what they did was wrong, or they might not have even done that thing you're suspecting they've done. But either way, one of you is feeling very hurt and feels like the relationship was stolen from them and like they deserve better than what they got. This, of course, like I said, is more applicable to like a past relationship, so an ex perhaps, or someone from your past. But if it is like current crush, somebody you don't have any relationship with, I think they're kind of afraid to trust you. They're a little bit hesitant of this connection. They may have heard a story about you, a rumor. I know that this doesn't represent rumors, but I'm still getting kind of just rumor-ish vibes from this. It just feels like there's been stories told, there's been lies told. So they may be just very hesitant to be involved with you. But it's not because of anything you've done. You couldn't have done anything different. That's just something that they've heard or something that they're thinking that's made them feel this way. They could, of course, also be hurt from a past relationship of theirs if this is a new crush for you. And it's just that they're afraid to get close with you in case you hurt them like their past partner hurt them. I think they spent a lot of time just on their own with the two king cards here. They spent a lot of time just focusing on themselves and not worrying about anyone else. They're not used to being in a relationship. They're not used to taking care of somebody else. They're just used to doing their own thing, and they're used to being alone. So the idea of moving into a relationship or moving into something new is very scary for them. But on that note, we have the in the near future card here. So it's kind of indicating that despite these fears, despite these worries, despite whatever's happened, there is a connection in the future. They want to make a move. They want to tell you how they feel. They want to work through this hurt or this betrayal, or they just want to let their guard down and be open to whatever connection you have with them. You may find it hard to read this person. I sense that you can't seem to get past that wall that they've put up. And that can be very frustrating for you, especially if you're the kind of person where you're used to people opening up to you very quickly. So this kind of opposite energy, this person who stays very close and doesn't let you know what they're thinking, this is very, not uncomfortable, but just different for you, and it makes you uneasy, I believe. You just don't know how to navigate it when they're not being open with you and they're not having discussions about feelings or talking about what's going on. But I don't think that this will last. I think in the near future card, they want to make that move forward. They want to tell you how they feel. They want to explain what's going on in their head, talk about what's holding them back and why they're afraid to pursue this connection, or just what they're feeling in general about you or their life. I really, with these cards, it almost feels like they feel like you've hurt them in some way, that you've stolen something from them, that you've taken away a possible connection. It's very weird energy, and it does feel much more applicable to a past relationship, because it could be that you've taken the relationship away by breaking up with them. But I'm sure, if you have a situation that applies to that as well, then you'll hear that and, understand it. We've got a little mermaid in the back of the King of Cups card. That could be that could be them, but either way, it's somebody's creeping up upon the other one. They're getting ready to make this move to talk about what's going on. They just need a little bit of encouragement. So if they are very guarded from you, try to show them that you can be trusted and that you want to have discussions with them and that you're somebody that they can open up to, that you're not going to hurt them the way that they've been hurt in the past. This could be somebody younger than you. Could be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Could be a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Or of course, you could be any of those signs, or you could be the younger one. But if they are younger, know that this could also be where some of this hesitation is coming from. I find that people who are a little bit younger tend to struggle more with the idea of communication, or aren't so good at it, or just haven't practiced it enough. But as they get older, we realize how to communicate properly and how to navigate those. It's just when you don't have a lot of experience, as young people typically don't, or just inexperienced people typically wouldn't have that experience with talking about feelings or having open relationship discussions. It just, it's always the high school type drama. So, they might have that mindset still, which makes them afraid of opening up. But as time passes, they're becoming more mature. They're talking to people, or listening to podcasts about how to communicate in relationships, or whatever they need to do in order to be more open with you. And that's what's going to make them make that move, perhaps. If it's an ex, maybe they've been in therapy and that's helping them move forward and reach out to you. But I do think that they'll need encouragement from you. I don't think that they're going to be ready right away. If you're just waiting for them to make the next move, that might take longer than the in the near future card indicates. I think you do need to make some sort of move to say hey, it's okay. It's safe to come and talk to me. Now, of course, if you're doing everything you can and you're not getting anything in return, you need to understand that you deserve better, It's very kind to try and wait for other people to be ready to open up to the connection, but you're just damaging yourself at that point when you're waiting and chasing after somebody who isn't showing interest back, right? So just make sure that you aren't pursuing something that, is just going to end up damaging you. But if you're just kind of interested in this person, there is a little bit of interest there. Know that they will be opening up more as the connection goes further along or as time passes. I think they're very curious about you, actually, too. There's a lot of curious energy here. So I think they are quite curious about you. If you two don't speak that much, they might be asking friends about you, mutual friends. They might be looking you up on social media. I think they're just very intrigued by you. You might offer a different perspective than one they've met before. With the two kings here, not to make any assumptions, of course, but there could be even that perhaps, you two are of the same gender and they're just kind of learning to experience that type of relationship, which could be why they're so closed off and they're just frightened to go forward because they haven't experienced a same gender relationship before, or a queer relationship, whatever that may look like. So that could also be what's making them so curious, because they're like intrigued to explore that side of themselves, but they're hesitant because it may not be allowed, or they might not know if it's something that they're actually interested in. Of course, that won't resonate for everybody, but if it does, it does. But yeah, overall, I get the feeling that they will talk to you soon about how they're feeling and what's going on. You just need to make sure that you're creating as warm and inviting of a space as you can, so that they know that they can trust you and that they can talk about how they feel. Also, if you're looking for date ideas, the King of Cups here is telling me to go by the water with them, perhaps go for a beachside walk, or go look at stars. Maybe do something during the full moon, take pictures of the full moon together, or just lay on a blanket and watch the stars for a little bit, talk about the constellations, come up with some fun stories together. I'm not too sure if you will be looking for date ideas, but I feel like that needed to be said for some of you. Yeah, I think they are asking about you, though. I think they're asking a lot of people around you about you. You may have even heard about this person because a mutual friend was like, do you know this person? And sent a screenshot of them asking about you. Because they're very interested in you, even though they're still being kind of standoffish. That's all that I have for you, pile 1. I hope you found it resonated. I'm sorry my energy was so low. Like I said, I've been working a lot and I'm very sleepy. Haven't been eating properly, so depression's got me down. But there should be more videos coming out. I might have another one recorded tonight. I might just wait to post it till tomorrow. We shall see. But yeah, either way, I hope you have a lovely rest of your night, and I shall see you all later. I guess I shouldn't end this yet, though. If you like this reading, or if it resonated with you, if you want to see more like it, or maybe another one just with higher energy, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I can definitely address all your comments. And yeah, okay, so hope you have a lovely rest of your night, and I love you very much. Okay, pile 2. Dos. So your stone is the amethyst. I'm hopefully getting more amethyst pieces from my friends soon. I'm very excited for that. We have 4 different piles here. We've got the Angel Oracle deck with Ask Your Angels. My earring is acting up. Okay. We've got 2 cards with the Fairy Lenormand deck. We've got the Ship and the Rider, which is very interesting, very, very similar energies. And then we've got the 9 of Swords and the Tower from the Fountain Tarot and Everyday Witch Tarot. Trying to make these look nice on camera. There we go. Okay. So I feel like there's kind of 2 different people we're looking at here. For some of you, you're dealing with a new relationship for sure. This is somebody who's coming in fast. They're very curious about you. They want to ask a lot of questions. They want to know what's up. They might be someone from overseas or from a different country, or they might be someone long distance perhaps that's just very interested in you, or you're interested in them. You could be rekindling a relationship with them. if you've had one in the past, and it's a very open energy, you know. For some of you who are rekindling this older relationship, and be turning into something new, I think there has been a lot of hurt in the past of this relationship, but you know, this person wants to look past that. You know, they understand that it had to happen in order to build a bigger foundation and to rebuild this tower and build into the ideal relationship that you two want together. I just sense this very open energy, this very excited energy. They want to come see you, they want to come visit. Depending on where you live, that might not be an option right now, but when it is, they want to make that trip. They want to go see you. They might be very intuitive people. With the Ask Your Angels here, they might be, if you two are to communication, they might be trying to reach out to you astrally and try to reconnect with you that way, to tell you that they're still interested. They're just not sure how to make that physical plane connection. If not, though, they just feel very spiritually about you. You two could be soulmates of some type, whether it's platonic or romantic. There is like a past life energy here, and there's a connection. Whether it's meant to be forever or not, you know, it doesn't really matter. It's important to know there's a connection with this person. There are lessons to learn from this connection. Now, the other side of things, too, is that it could be an ex, and they're really feeling this side of things, the Nine of Swords in the Tower feeling, where, you know, they've just been hurt by you, or the relationship has ended in some way, and they're hurt, and they're afraid. They're afraid of you. They're afraid to feel this energy. They're afraid to feel the Lenormand energy. They don't want to move forward yet because they don't know what's coming next. They don't know what you're going to do next. So they're just frightened, not so much like of you specifically, but just of what you do in the relationship or how the relationship will affect them. Either way, though, like, this is a spiritual connection. It is one that has lessons to teach for both of you. You both need to learn something from one another. I just think that there's definitely two very strong energies coming through. And the way to tell which one you and your person are, if there's very minimal communication, if they respond with very short answers when you talk to them, when they've pulled away quite dramatically, they're more in this energy. You know, they need the connection to end right now. And just know there's no shame in letting it go. Sometimes we need to take breaks in order to learn what we need to learn in order to get back together. Not that we always need to get back together with exes or anything, but, you know, sometimes, especially really strong spiritual connections, don't end forever. And if that's what you need to hear right now, then, you know, hear it, listen to what I'm saying. But right now, you know, like, you're not helping your connection by pushing for communication, by trying to make them stay. You need some time apart. You need to let them go so that they can go off and they can wander and they can heal, and you can heal as well. And then eventually they might come back, and they should come back in this Lenormand energy of feeling excited about a connection again happening with you. Now, likewise, if this is a new person in your life, then this is not how they're feeling at all. They might be scared, you know, just because of past relationships, but they're not scared of you. They're just, you know, nervous of relationships in general, but they're still very open and excited. So if it's a new person, you know, they're more in this energy. Or if it is someone from your past that you're thinking about, and you two do have communication, or, you know, you still like each other's Instagram photos, or if they're, you know, trying to reach out to you, or you hear that they're talking about you a lot, then they're more in this energy. They want to talk to you. They want to revisit the idea of the connection. They want to see where it goes. They're very curious about you. I definitely see them reaching out on your social media and stalking you on social media a little bit. I think it's interesting to note, though, with all the cards, we still have this idea of separation. Maybe some of you are traveling, if this person you're thinking of does live near you, some of you might be traveling away from this person, or they may be traveling away from you, and you two are worried about what the connection holds for you going forward because you're moving to two totally different locations. Or there's just recently been a separation, you've just gone your two different ways. Because even in this, like, it's curious energy, you know, this person's looking back at this person as they're moving away from them. This person looks more like they're in active travel, though, whereas this one is kind of stopped, waiting to see if the other one will turn around. So even though they're curious, I think that, like, whatever separation happened needed to happen for that relationship. Or if it's someone new, like, it might not happen as fast as you want it to. Like, it might take a while for this relationship to grow because they still are healing from something from their past that has nothing to do with you. It's just they don't want to get into a relationship with you when they're not ready for one. They're just going to hurt you. So if something is taking its time, especially with this, new person or with an old existing person, whatever it is, if it's taking its time, let it take its time. Don't push for anything because it's just going to end poorly for you. And I think they know that. They're very curious, but they're very aware of what their limits are and what they need. And again, if it is more this person, the one that isn't talking to you or is actively avoiding you, let them go. Don't push for them to be open to you. Just let them go. Focus on yourself. Focus on other relationships with other people. Focus on your friends. If they come back, they come back. If not, there'll be someone better for you in your future. But yeah, I do think the majority of people in this pile, that is more that they're actively excited about a relationship with you, even if they are taking their time with it. And like I said, taking their time isn't a bad thing. I think that they need to, and I think that you'll need that time to be taken as well. Just to keep the relationship, healthy, so that nothing happens poorly in the beginning stages if neither of you are quite ready for it yet. With the Ask Your Angels card here as well, like I said, it could be that it is a spiritual connection. I do strongly think that is the case. However, it wouldn't hurt you to try and, meditate a little bit on the connection or reach out to your spirit guides or whomever you may discuss these types of things with and ask for a sign about this connection. See what the best step for you is, especially if you're just not sure. And your person could be a Sagittarius, they could be an Aquarius, Cancer, Scorpio, or you could be these signs. Either way, whether or not it resonates without the signs, I would hope. I really think that one of you has very reddish hair. It could just be, brown hair, but because sometimes brown hair looks reddish in the right lighting. But yeah, this card always reminds me of like a strong Sagittarius, redheaded type energy. And I do think that one of you in this connection is very nervous or anxious about relationships or the other person or just the future or the world. But there's kind of this anxious energy here. I think that's all I'm getting for this pile. If you liked the reading and you found it resonated, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. I appreciate all comments and all feedback, so don't be afraid to say whatever's on your mind. And I will see you all later, hopefully tomorrow, fingers crossed. I hope you all have a very lovely night, and I love you very much. Okay, pile 3. You've got the rose quartz. It's interesting because when I was pulling cards for pile 3, cards just kept falling out. It was really hard to just get a couple cards to come out. So there might be a strong message here, or it could be that there's two very different messages here. But we shall see. So you've got helpful people from the Angel Answers Oracle. You've got the pathways or the crossroads with the letter. We've got the High Priestess and Temperance. Interesting. I kind of see these cards as being very similar, so that is interesting. So I think your person is trying to figure out what they want to do next. You might be feeling the same way. You're trying to figure out where to go from here or what to do. But this is coming very strongly in this reading that neither of you are sure what the next move is. Whether this is an ex, whether it's a current partnership, whether it's a crush or whatever, neither of you just know what the next move is. I do think there will be some form of communication here. If there isn't communication right now, with the letter we have, reaching out, sending a text, sending an Instagram, sending a tweet, whatever it may be. They're still right now deciding which route they want to take. They don't know yet that they are going to reach out to you, but they will. It just might take some time, and it might be in a very odd way. If they Like they can choose either to send a very lighthearted message, or they might just send a very strange message to you. They're just confused by, rather than understanding what they're trying to get from you. But I think it looks like, they're trying to keep their mind off of you. They know they need to make a decision about you, but they just don't want to think about it right now. They're focusing on themselves. They're trying to get into this high priestess energy and focus on themselves, meditate, do yoga, just do whatever they can to get their mind off of you and stay in their own power and feel powerful. If it's a current relationship, which it could be, it kind of seems like you just don't know what the next step of this relationship is. They don't know, they might be thinking about proposing, but they don't know if it's too soon yet. I think they're asking around to see what's needed. You two might just, be trying to figure out even whether to move in together or not, and whether to lose that freedom and that sense of having some place to go to call your own. There's just a lot of decision here. I think that they might be someone who's very indecisive, and they don't want to make a move without knowing or being affirmed that or being validated, I guess, and the fact that it's the right choice for them. So it stresses them out not being able to talk to you. I think that for some of you, this person sees you as being kind of their validation. Like they come to you when they need help with something. So when they're looking for advice about you, they don't know who to turn to. They don't really have anyone else. And for the other, part of you guys, like I think that they are asking around about you. They might be talking to your friends, to your family, to their friends, to their family. But they're trying to get a whole bunch of different opinions. But I think all these different people are saying all these different things, and this is just serving to overwhelm them even more. Overall, though, no matter, what section you fall into, this person of yours, they need to make the decision on their own. You can't pressure them into a decision. No one else that they talk to can pressure them into a decision. It's one that they have to make on their own. Otherwise, it won't be true to themselves, and they just won't feel happy about it, or they won't feel good about it. I think they really like you, though. Like, no matter what the situation is, they really feel connected to you. They really feel a pull to you. And if there isn't communication, or if there's just a stagnation, is that the right word? I think so. If it's just very still, they want that next step to come, whatever it may be. They just don't know, what the right next step is. But don't think that if there's been no communication, or if it's a crush and they haven't really seemed to return your feelings, or if they haven't asked you out yet, or whatever it may be, or if it is a relationship and the relationship's just been very stale for a while, don't feel like it's because they don't like you, because they do. They just don't know what's next. They're not too sure what to do next. If it is a crush, they don't know if they're ready for a relationship yet. I think that they're still trying to figure out who they are as a solitary individual, and they're afraid that getting into a relationship will ruin their chances of learning who they are and figuring out, what they deserve and what's best for them. So they're just trying to take some time, again, to focus on themselves and figure out what they need and what their wants are and how they can get those wants and needs met from somebody else. Again, like the other piles, I do sense that this person is checking up on your social media, that we're doing a little bit of stalking. I don't think it's very frequent, though. Like, if you're expecting them to see every single thing you post, that's not the case. It might just be like once a week when they let you cross their mind for a good amount of time. They might just kind of Google your name real quick. But they're not doing anything heavy. They're just kind of keeping you on their radar without really trying to be too worried about it. If it is an ex, or even if it's a crush, they might just be checking your Facebook to see if you're in a relationship or not. Like, that might just be the extent of what they're looking for. The letter always reminds me of Instagram, however, with the crossroads beside it, I'm sensing that there's two very different social media platforms they might reach you on. It's possible that they're trying to consider whether to send you a text or to straight up send you a letter. And depending on the relationship, they might find that the letter is more romantic, and they might go down that road instead of, doing something over social media. They could be a Libra, they could be a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, maybe a Gemini or Aquarius. Could be a Sagittarius. Could be an Earth sign, perhaps, kind of Taurus energy here. Maybe Virgo. You'll know it resonates with or without the signs anyway. They might really like to write. I think they do, and I think they write about you a lot. Not like to anybody, but I think they just journal about you a lot. Like you're in a lot of the notes they have. And if they see like a therapist or a counselor or something, I think you come up in the discussions quite regularly, no matter what the relationship is. If they are just somebody who has a crush on you, then it could just be that they're trying to ask their therapist for help on advice on how to approach you in like a positive manner. I think you're in their thoughts a lot at night. They don't want you to be. They spend the day very distracted, very busy, but at night, that's when they start thinking about you, and that's when they start trying to figure out what to do and what route to take, how to go about reaching out to you. Overall, for this reading, it seems like you're in their thoughts a lot. They just don't want to admit it, and most of those thoughts are just indecisive. They like you a lot, they just don't know what the next step is. I think that's the end of your reading, though. Sorry it wasn't super long. I feel like it was the shortest out of all three. Maybe that's why I got so many cards, though, so they're just so indecisive. But just know they are talking about you to somebody, probably friends, probably family. They're trying to get different opinions about you. But overall, they know that they like you, and they know that whatever the situation is, they want the next step of connection with you. And yeah, so if that resonated, please leave a like, subscribe, or comment. I will try to respond to all comments. And yeah, I should have a video up tomorrow. I got a whole bunch planned. So hopefully you will hear me and see me again tomorrow, and hopefully I'll be a little bit higher in energy. But yeah, I hope you all have a very lovely night, and I shall see you later. I love you very much.